first as she continues to lead the City Council during an extremely traumatic and difficult period for all of us. At the beginning of the year, prior to taking office as the mayor of the city of New York, I took a trip to Ghana. And I went into the dungeons and saw the small spaces where our ancestors were held for many days, sometimes for 2 to 3 months, living in their own ways, eating one meal a day, not seeing the sunlight, being ripped apart from their families, never to see them again, only to understand that leaving that horrific place, the pains and uncertainties would increase when they reached South Central America, Cuba, only to come here to America and watch the continuous devastation. And I needed to do that because it must reignite my spirit and be clear on what the journey lies ahead of us and what we must accomplish. And I heard over and over again how hard it is to be the mayor of the city of New York. And I said, no, hard is living in that dungeon. Hard is watching your wife or your mother have the baby ripped from her stomach to send a message. Hard is working in the fields all night just to deliver your child and go right back to work again. Hard is watching someone kick in the cabinet door and sodomize and rape your children and have you still stay on that plantation. Hard is building America only to watch yourself relegated to a position that you will never participate in the prosperity that this country has to offer. That's hard. That's hard. Where we are now, no matter how challenging it is, we can become king-like. His name has transcended in identity and has become a message, a symbol. How do we become king-like? We stop an educational system where we spend $38 billion, yet 65% of black and brown children never reach proficiency in this city. That's being king-like. King-like is doing dyslexia screening so we don't have prisons where 30% of our children are dyslexic and 55% have a learning disability, giving them the opportunity. If you don't educate, you will incarcerate, and we need to stop that incarceration that takes place at childhood. Housing where people can afford and live in, where NYCHA residents are not seeing the conditions that don't allow them to have a safe environment. Being king-like is making sure people who are dealing with mental health crises will have the support that they deserve, so we don't have 48% of our prisoners at Rikers Island having a mental health crisis. Being king-like is ensuring as we recover as a city, we don't recover for some and ignore others. We end the inequality that we have seen persistent in our city over and over again. Being king-like is dealing with the gun violence that would take a 19-year-old child that was working in Burger King to provide for her family, and now we have lost her. Stopping the flow of guns from the southern part of our country into our cities in the northern part. There are no gun manufacturers in Chicago. There's no gun manufacturers in New York. There's no gun manufacturers in Detroit. Being king-like is stopping the source. That's what I must do as the mayor of the city. If I am the city of New York and I fail to stop the systemic problems that we have been facing, then I failed that journey I took in Ghana. I failed those who laid the path for me to be here. I'm committed and dedicated to getting this job done. I lost my hero in April last year when my mother transitioned. And I recall sitting in the hospital room listening to the heart monitor for the last time. Standing there, just the two of us holding her hand, thinking about the commitment and dedication she has made. And Mommy made it clear, baby, I took you as far as I could take you physically. Now I must be there with you spiritually. And so I'm walking in that spirit. And I'm saying to you, New Yorkers, we're resilient. I know how hard it has been. I remember at the beginning of COVID, going to hospitals and talking to people who dropped their loved ones off, never to see them again. I remember how devastating it was and the emotional toll it played on us when we were inside our homes. I saw the increases in attempted suicides with our children. I know what it is that many of you lost your businesses. You're on the verge of losing your home because as we look at the changing times in our economy. But also remember something else. I remember September 11, 2001. People focus on that day. I focus on September 12th. We got up. Teachers taught, builders built, retailers sold their goods. America looked towards New York. And when they saw America, New York get up on September 12th, it cascaded throughout the entire country. COVID is not terrorism, but it has brought terror. We are now the epicenter of that terror. Once again, we must show America how we get up. There's something special about this city. There's something special about who we are. The way it goes New York goes America. The way it goes America goes the globe. And so today, as we acknowledge the life of Dr. King, let's acknowledge his persistence in saying we can disagree without being disagreeable. We can come together and unite around those common goods. And I know what this city is made of. I always say I borrow from the owner of Snapple Soft Drink. We will succeed because we're made up of the best stuff on earth. We're New York. Thank you very much.